Real TV. Hope that all is well. Today's show is called Now What? In the news, R. Kelly is being talked about in regards to his escapades with preteens and locking them into dungeons. In New York, the sky turned blue. Government shutdown remains present. Trump called the troops back home from Syria after winning the war against ISIS, also known as the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. The president of Ghana is requesting that all blacks come home after 400 years of slavery. All your Christmas shopping is done. Some people are broke right now. Some people are catching up on bills. So, what does all this mean? And what's really going on? We'll break it down in just a moment. Just know that it's about to get real. I'm gonna take a quick break. Check out this short beat here. This is a new one. Thinking about doing a new one. Let me know what y'all think on this one. Think about dropping a new track. I'm your host, Michael Israel. If this is your first time tuning in to Real TV, I would like to say welcome and to give you a round of applause. I don't ever want to get too ahead of myself and not give gratitude for you for joining the show. I know how hard it is to even find good content and to ensure that it's not clickbait. A lot of the people that I will look up to, are no longer on YouTube anymore or no longer to be found. And again, with that being said, as we know, YouTube is becoming the new Hulu, the new Netflix. Surely, for those who produce good content, we have to morph to our own. There's nothing wrong with creating your own website and having your own revenue, But today's show is called Now What? And with that being said, before we really get into it, I want us to go over a refresh of some past instances, past situations that we can't forget. Now, I know a lot of y'all may remember back in October that every smartphone in the country literally had a sound off alarm that went off on your phone that said this is a test of national wireless security or a wireless emergency alert. No action is needed. And you weren't able to really do anything with your phone for a short period of time. So I know y'all remember that, right? So with that in mind, just just know that whenever this alert pops up again, that it won't be a test. See, that was just to get us, get us loose to what's to come. The Hawaii panic that happened around last year around this time, when they were talking about there was missiles that were being launched to Hawaii, there was an alert that popped up talking about ballistic missiles were coming inbound to Hawaii and that people needed to seek immediate shelter. And it said that this is not a drill. That was all over the news last year this time. And I can see to the effect of how people in Hawaii could have been fear-mongering due to the fact that Queen Elizabeth said that this may be the last Christmas, and how Pearl Harbor was attacked in 1941, in December at that. You know what I mean? So, not only that, but for those living in NYC, I know that you all recently, just last week, noticed that the sky turned neon blue due to a power plant outage or due to some power outage. It was more than that. When you look at the video, you'll see that it's smoke or whatever, but the entire sky at night, there was a neon blue light. You know what I mean? Almost like a police car. Well, let's not get it twisted. It's more than HARP. I'm talking about this is now again, if this is your first time to Real TV, you may find this show to be a little appalling at times. And some of the information may seem a little absurd. But if you're not learning anything new, then is it really learning? If you already getting information that you already know, then what good is it to you? New information is going to sound absurd. It's going to sound unbelievable. It's going to challenge your thinking. Now, with this blue light, we have to understand that when there's a clouded sky in particular, these spaceships that Satan has built with his technology are cloaked with invisible technology, and they hide behind the clouds. Sometimes you're able to see them. You see beams of light. You see weird fragmented objects in the sky, weird shapes. You hear certain sounds of thunder, of rattling, you know. But they hover in the sky, and the spacecraft is powered by plasma. So during these trying times, you have people to this day going to blood banks and donating plasma for $35 to put food on the table, to pay a bill here and there, or put money in their pocket, not knowing where this is going, just assuming that this plasma that you're donating is going to an individual that needs it for XYZ. We have to understand that blood and our thoughts travel 10 times faster than the speed of light or sound. So it wouldn't be too far off to think that plasma wouldn't be used in their spaceships. We know that after Hurricane Michael in Florida and parts of Ohio, that the sky turned purple. And we're talking about at night. All right. Now, in regards to my own personal experiences, I've seen the sky change colors, and I question. There's some nights in fall or winter or parts of the summer where the sky is a hue of a magenta or a pinkish purple rose blush type of color at night. And typically when it's that type of color at night, it'll be a cooler day the following day. Or like that's just like if you see fog at night, if it's really, really foggy at night, 9 times out of 10, the following day is going to be a milder day or a very warm day. But in regards to my personal experience, just last week around the same time when New York had a blue sky, here in Georgia, in the Southern Plain, the sky was orange for a period of time. I'm talking about I had took a nap. I woke up at about like 5:46 or something. Took like a quick nap, 2-hour nap, and I woke up and my blinds are a chestnut, like a dark coffee um, blind. And I went towards the bathroom. I see this hue of orange light just coming through the blinds. Blinds are closed now. And so I peek out the window, and the sky is this blood red, orangish, burnt orange, of a light. It's just amazing. It wasn't scary, just beautiful. Just beautiful. The clouds were all over the place. Clouds all over the place. And this had to last, when I talked to other people, said it lasts for about an hour or so. Now, mind you, around this same time, in fact, this was on like a weekend, I want to say I remember. And I remember at night, it sounded as if like like some type of bomb had went off. Like some type of, all I could just compare it to is like a miniature bomb or something. Like something just went off. And it was late at night. And when this sound popped off, the lights went out. The lights went out in the unit. It went out in the city, the banks, the hotel, everything around me. The lights went out for like 10 to 12 seconds. And I'm like, oh, snap, man. It's about to go down. And at that time, I realized that I wasn't completely ready as I should be. I have some food to the side, some water, batteries, flashlights, things like that. But at that time, I knew that I wasn't fully prepared. Now, the lights came back on immediately after this 12 seconds or so. Everything cut back on as usual. But what dawned on me is that what I want to relate to y'all, and even for myself, is that we need to have everything set to the side in its own place. So when things do pop off, you can go to that spot and okay, the flashlight is here. Let me grab that. The candles are here. Let's light the candles. From battery powered to candles, to all your water, to your food, to your snacks, to your gauze pads. You need boots, so when you got to go walking, steel toe boots, you need gloves, You need a backpack just to the side with everything that you need. Whether you want to call it a bug out bag, whatever. Everything needs to be to the side, you know. Um, but yeah, it's we have to get ready. So with all that going on, now what? Now what? And man, it reminds me of the latest next latest Netflix film, Bird Box, that just came out. There's a lot of rave about it, and it was a very interesting movie to say the least. And in this movie, I don't want to I don't want to spoil it for those who haven't seen it, but as you can see from the previews, they're walking around with blindfolds. You know, is that movie a symbolic representation of what's to come? You know, of power outages coming soon, and we'll have to. Will we be ready? You know what I mean? Could we walk around for a period of time if the lights were out, if the electricity was out? Are you prepared for that? Because it is coming one day. And now there's a bird box challenge going around where people are blindfolding themselves and, for fun and games, you know. But what if it was for real? And it's sad because, I did see the video of the family and the baby ran into the wall. I mean, the people are crazy, man. What's going on, man? It's a challenge for everything. Challenge for everything. But what's going on? They're invoking a spiritual energy across the world for something to come into existence. That's all it is. I'll give you a really quick example. Really quick example. About 2 or 3 years ago, I want to say, I was in a situation where I had needed some money, you know, finally becoming debt free, and I was waiting on some paintings to sell that I had at this where was that? I had a show out in Charlotte, and I think the show was down to its last day. And I was in the show for, I want to say, maybe about 3 or 4 months, and not one thing has sold. And me and the curator were conversing back and forth, here and there about this possible sale. And I remember praying like, Lord, please let me get this sale. I need food. I gotta pay these, bills. Please help me, Lord. I need this money. You know what I mean? I don't know if I was out from a job at the time, or or if I already paid a certain amount of bills and at the time, all I know is that I really needed money. And what happened was, I had at the time I had a Instagram account where I was big. I had over 121,000 followers on Instagram with the art or whatever. And I shut it down because I was going to LA. But when I had the site, I would, post art videos, and I like to dance, like a Marion Chris Brown type of slide in, and you know what I mean, doing spins and stuff like that. I would post videos of dancing often. So this particular night, I had took all my paintings, well, not all of them. I took about, I don't know, man, maybe about 10 to 20 different paintings to my studio. And I had just wanted to take the paintings down to make the studio look full, like I had paintings all over the room. So I made this circle. I literally made a circle with the paintings. And now my paintings that I created at that time, they're like 4 foot by 6 foot, 3 foot by 5 foot, huge. I literally encased myself within this circle of paintings, right? And this is when the song Rihanna, that snitch better have my money. You know what I mean? That's when that song had just came out. And I did a dance to I was dancing to the instrumental, right? And I was crumping, I was doing everything. I mean, I did probably like a 2 minute dance off the song. And I posted it, right? And at this time, we're only human beings. I had lost hope that the Most High was going to bless me with these funds. And I was so pissed, from not getting the money, and I was literally angry. And I danced in anger, not in happiness, to this song, like the B better have my money. And like I literally gave it everything that was in my soul in that dance. And I literally came to the point where I wanted to pass out. You know what I mean? Because I'm in the video, all flashy. I got a plaid shirt wrapped around my waist. You know what I mean? I got on a hat. I got on, some red shoes and a dope outfit. I got on all this extra stuff in this hot studio with no water. And I'm doing this dance routine. Long story short, in so many words, I made a sale the very next day. That morning, the curator contacted me and said, "You sold a painting." It was the last day of the event. I sold a painting for $1,000. This small little painting that I did. And he came all the way from North Carolina and brought me the money because he was coming to Savannah anyway, him and his companion or whatever. Got the money. And I invoked an energy. I basically did a ritual. I did a ritual that I didn't know that I was doing when I thought it was fun and games, and I made something come to pass. I don't know if you feel me on that. What I'm saying is this: with this whole Bird Box Challenge thing, the same thing goes into effect. People are putting on blindfolds and stuff, walking around and going in forests, literally walking around the house, driving and stuff, and invoking a spiritual energy of something to come to pass. I don't know if you're feeling me on that. So TSA is calling out sick. They're calling out sick like crazy. Because they're not getting paid. They're working for free. They're under the federal government. They're working for Homeland Security, which is a branch under the federal government. And the calls are up 300%. So what does this mean? It means that when there's fewer paychecks coming in, all because you're trying to protect land with the wall, what are you going to use to protect the air? Do you understand? With TSA calling out, and there's a shortage going on around the United States and other parts of the world, you're trying to protect land, but what's going to happen if someone hijacks a plane or slips through security? You see what's going on? So the question is, now what? With all this going on, now what? This is the name of the show. This wall thing is just a joke. This is like the WWE, WWF, WCW, Wrestling Federation. It's just a joke. Right now, there's the European Union with over 10 different countries together as a unit. There's the African Union with over 55 countries together as a unit. Are we naive to think or naive to assume that the United States of America will not form an American Union with the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Because that's what it's boiling down to. And that's what it will come down to. There's a currency called the Euro that has been out since 2007, if not earlier, that is already out but is not utilized as a monetary system just yet. But it's coming. You have people assuming that this wall is going to go up for security and protection. But there's drones now that can get over a wall. You got inmates sending drugs from this prison to that, weapons from this prison to that with drones. If Amazon can deliver groceries in packages via drones, and you have a box that weighs 20 pounds or 50 pounds, what is it for a drone to carry a human being over the wall? What is it for someone to build a tunnel under the wall? You know how many tunnels lead from Mexico to Cali, Mexico to Texas, and they're getting drugs through? I mean, come on now. Let's get real here. It's just a joke. It's a game. I want to keep the show short today. We're almost into a half an hour. But today's show is called Now What? It's about competition. It's about competition. And in this world, competition reigns supreme. In this world of who is superiority, who has superiority over the fastest trains of the world, who is going to be the first to quote unquote go to space, who has the best military, who has the best military equipment, who has the best technology, who has the best cyber security and inventions of the world, and who has the fastest internet, the fastest jets, the strongest monetary dollar. Who can do the best state-of-the-art reverse engineering? Who has the best scientific research? Which country has the most Nobel Prizes? I mean, do you understand? Who has what's another one? Who can do weather manipulation? Which country has the best imports and exports? I mean, the list goes on. From companies to Google, Facebook, Intel, IBM, Microsoft, Apple, to Fruit Loops and Captain Crunch, companies want the best of the best, and they want to rep. So if you have the European Union repping with the European Union, and the African Union, and if the United States is the empire of the world, if you will, are we not to believe that the American Union is not coming for real? So with all this going on, now what? Ghana, the president of Ghana is calling for African Americans to come back home. Now, we can't get lost in the sauce and consider ourselves Africans. There's a difference between the African and the Jew. I am a Jew. I am from Africa, yes. My lineage literally comes from the west coast of Africa, was from the ships to Georgia. My whole ancestry from all the way to the 1700s has been in Georgia. So I come from the west coast of Africa, literally. And my family probably did come from Ghana. However, I am not a Ghanaian. I'm not from Ghana. I am a Jew. So we can get caught up into going back to Ghana or Uganda or Zimbabwe or whatever other African countries there are. But until they say all Africans, all blacks who are in America come home to Israel, then I'm not going. In the book of Amos, I want to say it's the book of Amos chapter 9 verse 15, it talked about how the Lord is going to plant us upon our land. And when he plants us upon our land, no one or no more shall we be pulled up and out of it, period. No more. I don't want to go to Ghana. I don't want to go to no safari. I don't want to go on no vacation to Africa. I don't want to go see no lions. I don't want to go. I don't even want to go. I don't want to go until it's time for me to go, because I don't want to go there and go to the Holy Lands and come back into remembrance of who I was and then have to come back here. Nah. When I go, I want to go there for good. I want to go back to my homeland, Israel, to Jerusalem, and I want to live there and stay. I want to eat my fruit, my vegetables. I want to be able to have my own flock of lambs and land, build my own house. I want to be able to bathe in the Dead Sea. You have people, melanated people in general. I mean, even Caucasians and other races have psoriasis issues, but you have black people by majority who have skin issues like eczema, who have hair issues, dry hair. But when you go into the Dead Sea and you wash in that water, it kills everything, any skin elements, any issues. You know what I mean? I want to go back to my land, yo. Forget Ghana. I appreciate the offer, Mr. President of Ghana. But we're not coming back. We're not coming back. All right? So R. Kelly has a documentary called Surviving R. Kelly, if you haven't heard, which is all over the news. It's probably all over Facebook. I'm not on the book, but the word is out that he's done a lot. Now, let's keep it real. This is real TV, baby. So let's go ahead and keep it real one time. R. Kelly is just the beginning of all of this. R. Kelly is just the beginning of being put on the spot with underage girls. Michael Jackson kind of started it up a little bit with the children that they tried to throw on him. But Michael Jackson was a castrado rather. He was cut. Joe Jackson cut off his son's penis before he hit the age of 10. This is on the record. The doctors came out and admitted that Michael Jackson had his penis surgically removed before he became a teenager, because his dad wanted to have Michael Jackson's voice remain the same. They wanted him to sing in an octave that was higher than the average man who was not cut. So let's not get it twisted here. We know that Bill Cosby caught the first allegations, if you will, under the Me Too campaign for so-called raping a great number of women, which we know a great portion of the women lied. I'm not saying that he didn't do anything, but we know that he was set up. And we know that he was the face of the Me Too campaign. And then you heard about Harvey Weinstein, and you heard about Steven Seagal and Chris Savino, Kevin Spacey, and all the others, right? It's about to get real. Things are about to get real. People are focusing on R. Kelly, and you got people like Chance the Rapper and Meek Mill and all these other people saying that I wish I never did a record with him. I didn't know this and that. You know, I mean, come on. Why can't we talk about what President Bush did? You let President Bush Sr. die, and no one talked about all those children he raped and how he's a part of the Skull and Bones. Let's talk about Warren Buffett. Let's talk about what Steve Jobs did. Let's talk about what President Trump is doing and everybody else in the woodworks. But they're cherry picking, and they're using R. Kelly as the face of the underage scandals right now. They just had a little quick incident with Drake with an old video coming out with him groping on a 17-year-old on stage, rubbing her titties, feeling on her booty and everything on stage. And, that's coming out. But just know that it's about to get real. This is just the start. It started off with Bill. It's starting off with Kelly. And it's about to go down. Believe that. You could believe that. It's just like the whole Usher situation. You got Usher on the board being the face of herpes. Right? They talk about a situation. But notice how they sweep Charlie Sheen under the rug with his HIV. Charlie Sheen went on the record to have women sign affidavits and contracts before they even get in bed with them. And then sometimes he didn't even have them sign the contract. But which is worse, the herpes or the HIV? But you see how they do. You see how they play, though. So, today's show is called Now What? In this Gregorian calendar, it's the new year. We're in the month of January. The Greek god Janus, who looks forward to the future and who looks back to the past. The two-headed Greek god. The whole New Year's celebration was a celebration of the Greek god Janus. If you went out and celebrated, if you popped bottles, if you watched the ball drop. I didn't get into any of that. In fact, it's 10:35 Eastern Standard Time on this 8th day of January. And tonight, right now, I got some Thanksgiving cooking right now. I didn't celebrate Thanksgiving. I didn't celebrate New Year's. I didn't celebrate paganistic Christmas. I'm celebrating a day to be thankful. And I got some turkey going. I got some gravy on the stove. I got some cranberry sauce from scratch. Pop my cranberries. You know what I mean? I'm going to give you this quick little recipe. I ain't going to do this all the time. I have to give you this little quick recipe real quick. When you're making cranberry sauce, you want to get you some fresh cranberries. Put them in a dry pan or pot. I just say a saucepan. And you want to probably put a shot glass of water in it. Put the cranberries on high. Let them pop. They're gonna crisp a little bit. They may get a little burnt in color, but you don't want them to get too burnt. You want them to pop though. It's gonna sound a little like popcorn. Get you a little orange juice to your liking. Add about a cup of orange juice. You know, I ain't even gonna give no measurements. Add a little orange juice to however much orange juice you want to add. Add you some sugar. I like to use brown sugar or a nice coconut sugar or whatever sugar you like. You could use honey if you want to use a substitute. If you vegan, you could use agave. And I want to talk about you vegans later if I could remember. But and then after that, you want to bring it down to a boil. Bring it to a boil. And then you want to put it on simmer. Add some cinnamon, add a touch of nutmeg. You could add just a touch of cracked pepper, just a touch, a quick dash. I'm talking about a dash, not even the booger's worth of salt. I don't even want to say a booger, but and there you go. That's your cranberry sauce right there. So that's a quick recipe. But yeah, I got that going. Stuffing, some green bean casserole. You know what I mean? Why not? Why celebrate it on Thanksgiving Day? You know, shoot. I mean, we're older now. We can eat dessert first. You know what I mean? And with everything going on in the world, live it up. Now what? Live it up. I ain't saying go out to the club and things, but there will be a time where you use the club, there is no more club. When martial law comes into effect, there will be a curfew. You can say goodbye to going out and things of the such. So, again, in this new year, this Gregorian calendar, people celebrated the new year. And before I get into the rest of what I want to say, did you all know that in Times Square where the ball drops, there's a building that is right behind that ball. The building, the building that the ball sits on, that it drops from. Do you know that that building is vacant and no business is inside of it? No one lives there and no business inside of it. Did you know that? That oh snap. Okay. All right. Yeah. So that no one lives in there and no business at all is in that building. That building is paid for by the ads that are projected on the outside of that building. People pay anywhere from $500,000 to $2 million a month to put ads on that building. That's how that building is paid for. Now, what I want to say is this. For those who went to New York just to go see the ball drop, because I always had a dream to do it. But when you think about it, it's idiotic. It's not a good thing to do. Somebody could say bomb and everybody will start running. It's a stampede. So you got women trying to run in heels, people in flip-flops. And then if you got to use the bathroom, where you going to go? You know what I mean? It's just not a good idea. So here's the thing. You have people who are standing in front of this building who are watching the ball drop, but they're not keeping in consideration of what's happening in that building. Do you know how many lost children that they are sacrificing in that building while people are yelling and screaming and crying while the ball is dropping? People are being raped in that building or probably being murdered in that building for no tenants to live in there and no business. I mean, come on now. Let's not get it twisted. This is how they do. This is how they do. All right. But for this new year, which I don't celebrate personally until spring. When the first day of spring comes, that's around that time. That's when I celebrate New Year's. That's where you get the whole thing spring cleaning. Spring cleaning is not spring cleaning because it's pretty outside and the flowers are blooming. You're spring cleaning because it's a new year. But we try to, oh my goodness. When I used to celebrate the New Year's, I used to make sure all my clothes was washed and clean, folded up, house clean, spotless before the new year, right? But you're doing it in the dead of winter, even though we should be doing it on a regular basis and we shouldn't have to deep clean as much as we do. But every now and then there needs to be a deep clean regardless, right? So you're basically spring cleaning in the heart of winter. It's all a game. You're celebrating the spring cleaning as a new year. That's what it's all about. We should be celebrating New Year just like the scripture says in the month of Abib, in the month where we were led from the wilderness out of Egypt. So the question is, you're trying to figure out a New Year's resolution if you haven't, or you just want to do something new because the time is about to come, just to be afresh. So, what can you do? You're thinking, now what? Well, you could renovate your temple. Renovate your temple. That's what you can do. From head to toe, from the rooter to the tutor. Root. You know what I mean? Renovate. Eat well. Eat healthy. Drink good water, spring water. Eat more fruits. Eat more vegetables. Eat good meats if you can. Try to find organic lamb, organic chicken, organic grass-fed beef. Eat good. Eat well. Work out. You don't have to just consistently run, but you need to work out more consistently. You don't necessarily have to run, but you could walk or you could bike. We were all taught in middle school, high school, gym class, and just regular health classes, and just from common knowledge that all we need on average is 30 minutes of exercise. At least 30 minutes of brisk walking. You don't have to run. And technically, really it's not really good to run as soon as you wake up. And the reason being is because it takes almost an hour for your blood to fully circulate throughout your entire body, to get through from your feet through your brain on a what can I say? To get your blood back balanced after laying flat over a period of time. And what happens is when we run, as soon as we wake up, over time is not good on the body or good for the brain, because the brain itself, okay, is surrounded by blood. Just like our knees and our joints are surrounded by synovial fluid, which lubricates our joints and keeps it, in place, keeps it from being damaged and things, right? So what happens is, if when this layer of blood is not surrounded by our brain, it causes the brain to bounce, which is not good. So, it's actually better. What I'm saying is this: it's better to actually walk a brisk walk when you wake up versus running, to say the least. Okay, but other things we could work on is like our hair. Continue to comb your hair, brush your hair, not just style it, but add a little oil. The scripture says that we should anoint our head with oil. To keep our head moist. Find a good oil for your hair. You know what I mean? File your nails. File your toes. Keep the dirt out. You know what I mean? Keep it trimmed. These are all basic things that we know, but it's sad because we need coaching. We need a refresh. We know when we have to go take a pee, go take a leak, that we should go take a leak. But we be like, nah, let me finish this first. And then you end up doing whatever you got to do, and you not go to the bathroom 30 minutes to an hour later. You know what I mean? Just little stuff like that. Holding our urine, holding our bowel. You know what I mean? Or knowing that we should eat something and that we're not fasting, but we're like, I'm not going to eat right now, I'll just eat later. But your body's telling you to eat. So why not eat? It's just being slothful. So it's okay, if we need a refresh. You know what I mean? Take care of your skin. Scrub your skin. Exfoliate. Find a good soap that balances the pH. Every soap that looks good is not a good soap. Don't go for the label. Don't go for Suave because of the dang on. They got the pomegranate looking all good. They got the waterfall flowing on the bottle. It smells good. Don't shop for the label. Shop for the research. Research your soap and find out which soap is going to bring your skin to a pH level of 5. Your skin needs to maintain a level of 5 balanced to maintain a natural, healthy looking skin. So you need a soap that complements that. You need soaps like, which I used to do use, which is Dove. You know what I mean? They have fragrance free if you don't like the fragrance. And for the ladies, you know what I mean, we have to talk about it. You don't need soaps that has anything that has glycerin, sucrose, glucose, anything with those are sugars, and sugars cause yeast. You know what I mean? You use that and then you wonder why a few days later you got, you know, you're yeasting up down there, whatever. You gotta look for soaps that don't have glycerin if you can. And you want soaps like that has things like essential oils and Dead Sea salt. You could just actually exfoliate with Dead Sea salt. You know what I mean? Me personally, there's times where I use baking soda and lemon, but I wouldn't recommend it to those with sensitive skin. I wouldn't even recommend it to those with who think they have average or good skin, because it can burn your skin. And I'm not into the whole skin lightening thing, you know. And but I would recommend, the soaps that I use. I like to use a soap called Ahava, by a brand called Ahava. It's gonna run you about $11 for a bar of soap, but we're talking about some of the best soap that you can get. Dead Sea salt. Um, I don't really like soaps with mud base. It clogs up the mud or charcoal. It clogs up the drainage over time. Like at first it's good, but like 2 months down the line, if that's all you're using, your pipes will get clogged up with that stuff. So I like using that. Uh, but that's what you want to do. If you're into colognes, you're into perfume, that's on you. Me personally, I like natural pheromone. You know what I mean? If you wash with a good soap, you will project your own natural pheromone. Some people smell like peaches. Some people smell like pine. Some people smell like cinnamon. Some vanilla. Some like cedar. Some smell like cognac. You know what I mean? We all have our own natural scent. Some people may smell like baby powder. Some people may smell like citrus. Like literally, it sounds weird, doesn't it? But we all have our own unique smell. We all have our own unique smell. Um, it's just like, example, if a man works out, right? Man, you go work out and you may be leaving the gym. You may think that because of the weights that you just bench press or curled, that your muscular look is what's attracting the woman. Not saying that it's not, but based on scientific research, it's better for a man. Women are attracted more to a man that wears a t-shirt in the gym versus a man with their shirt off, because it has a little mysteriousness to it. Scientific research says that a man's sweat causes dopamine to rise within certain women if his pheromones are in sync. So women are attracted to a man's sweat. And you think on the outside, it's just my muscles. My muscles are protruding through my shirt. My legs are right, my arms look right. Nah, but that woman could walk right past you and she could be attracted to your scent. A woman's sense of smell is more powerful than a male. Her touch is more sensitive than a male's touch. That's why when women they have conversations, they can touch each other more. They tap the shoulder, girl, tap the hand. They have over 1,000 more touch receptors than men, and their keen sense of smell is stronger than us. So when they become pregnant in the times of danger, they can, have that sense. You know what I mean? But to stay on track, if you're into the cologne thing, perfume, freshen up for the new year. You know what I mean? These are some things that you can do. For those who are considering college, I would say you may want to reconsider college. There's nothing wrong with going to learn more. You can do that. But I'll just say weigh your options. If you have to take out student loans, I would say weigh your options. Look into what is some Can you, to the best of your ability, try to go to school for free if you want to go, if that's what you're into? Because the world needs doctors. The world needs judges and lawyers and things like that. There's nothing wrong with an education. Now, however, there are ways to learn. If you want to be a chef, you could go on YouTube and learn recipes. If you watch Chopped good enough, you will become a cook. If you watch Iron Chef good enough, you will become a cook. If you're into HGTV, you will know how to construct. There's tutorials all over line, and you can still go to the library and learn. You don't necessarily have to go to an establishment and then go into debt and become an indentured servant for the rest of your life for a debt that you can't even pay. Leaving school and going to an Ivy League school, and now you're over $100,000 in debt. You just bought 4 Mercedes. Just think about that. Just think about that. That money that you're taking out of school, you just bought 4 cars. Then you have to pay interest. For those who just finished school, I would consider, to the best of your ability, trying to land a job, even though we know that the job market isn't too pretty for college graduates, and that you do have to face your student loans if you have to pay them. To the best of your ability, find a job, provide for your family, provide for yourself. Even if you have to rake leaves, even if you have to wash cars, there's ways to make that money and get that paper. You don't have to ask yourself, now what? You get up and you get out and you take care of your business, But yeah, that's that. Man, this is real TV. I know we're jumping from topic to topic, but this is how we do it. This is how we do it. Yeah. In regards to the pheromone thing, I do want to touch back on that real quick. Because what can I say? These demons, I'm going to just call it what it is. These demons. I'm not going to call them reptilians. I'm not going to call them aliens right now. I try to be very polite and just call them reptilians. They're not reptilians. These demons. These demons have the ability to smell you, and they can smell your fear. They can smell your sense of smell. And they hate it when you wear your natural smell. They can't stand it. I know this sounds weird. They cannot stand your natural essence. When you wear cologne and perfume, you're masking your own God scent, your own scent that was created from our Heavenly Father. Your own scent. And I don't know why I'm on this right now, but these demons can smell you, and they hate your sense of smell. They hate your aura, and they would rather you wear perfume and cologne. But I have this show that I'm working on that I want to explain to the best of my ability how these demons are all around us. We have dated them and not known it. We have been so hypnotized and not noticed how their snake-like eyes just morph and their pupils look like diamonds. Like literally, they're just... I'm going to touch on that in just a moment. All right, but that sense of smell is strong. And just think about it, right? So black bears in general, they can smell up to 18 miles in a straight line just to get to their food. Polar bears, they can smell through 3 foot of ice. Elephants can smell freaking water up to 12 miles away. Elephants can smell water. Can you believe that? So if we are at the top of the food chain, and if we have dominion over these animals, and if we are more intelligent, and if we are designed better than these animals, shouldn't we have a sense of smell and a type of pheromone that, you see where I'm going? All right, example. You have not only animals that have a strong sense of smell, but you have animals that can give off a bad smell, like skunks, dung beetles, uh, sloths. Sloths are so lazy that they have mold and algae growing on their fur, and that they have 3 different type of species of mites living in their anus. Is so I know that was a little out there, but if these little things have the ability to smell afar, and if they have bad smells, then not only if we can smell good things, but can't we deliver off bad smells too? You know what I mean? Y'all may know the guy Nature Boy, or for those that you don't know, there's a guy named Nature Boy, um, who tried to get through the airport and they were denied because their musk smelled so off. They were denied to get on the plane. I don't even know if you ever ran past or walked past somebody or went through New York at a food truck and you smelled a musk just so thick that, oh my goodness, like you literally held your breath until you knew. You ever walked past a person and you held your breath because you knew that they were stink? So you held your breath. Or maybe somebody was smoking cigarettes and you was like, okay, this person is smoking. I don't want to inhale this smoke, so I'm about to hold my breath for the next 10 seconds until I get to past them, or until I know all the smoke that they, you know what I mean? Or I know I'm not the only one, so don't make me feel bad. But I'm gonna keep it real. There's times where I have washed good with good soap or no soap, and at any given moment, just out of the blue, like my underarm can smell like marijuana. And I don't smoke marijuana. Is it just me? Has anyone has ever smelled like marijuana before? Under your underarm. Just like out of the blue. So, like, we all have our own pheromone. And we can give off bad smell. Like, some people say that black people smell like sour milk. I've never gotten that before. I've never heard that before. But some Caucasians say that some black people smell like sour milk. Well, it's on the record that some Caucasians smell like wet dogs. Let's just keep it real. I'm just being honest, yo. I'm not trying to be offensive to any of my Caucasians out there, but there comes a time where sometimes, like, after some of y'all work out, or when y'all come from out the rain, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, but you smell like a wet dog. I don't know what it is, but we all have our own smell. And I'm not being offensive, yo. Some people some Indian people smell like curry. And I have witnessed that. I have been around where some people, Asian people, just smell like garlic or onions or something. I mean, it sounds weird, but we all have our own smell. All right? So the question is now what? I wanted to make this a short show. Live it up. Live it up. That's what. Live it up. And I don't mean go out there and call prostitutes and call girls, go to Vegas, Sin City. But if you have the means to travel, if you have the means to go out to a nice restaurant, if you have the means to cook a nice dinner at home, if you have the means to take your family on a nice outing, or to, even if it don't even have to be money. If you have the means to take them out, or to barbecue, or to go to the park, or to go walking on the beach, to go in the city, to just people watch, just enjoy these times, because these times will not always be precious. When the shutdown continues, if it continues or if it doesn't, eventually it will get worse. Just know that. Just know that the quickening is happening. The years are going by faster. We went from uh, uh, living in the time with horses and carriages to Lamborghinis and Porsches now. Our horses are Porsches now. We're going from 5G. We're going from 4G to 5G, from 5G to dang on headsets now. Sooner or later, there's going to be no more phones. The people are going to be laughing at us. Y'all used to carry about 5 pounds with you a day? Yeah, the average human being carried 5 pounds a day. Their iPhone, car keys, their what else people carry? Their lighter, their purse, their wallet, their credit card, their cash. They're gonna be laughing. Ah, they carry cash. Oh my gosh. Ah, ah. You know, they're gonna be laughing. You know what I mean? It's crazy. They're gonna have the Google glasses. You know, there's technology out right now that it'll be hard for you to believe. They have technology where you could put a tooth over your tooth and it can record everything around you. It can record sound. They have it where you could put the contact lenses in your eye. They used to have it where you got, the cameras in the watch. You see the camera in the pen and stuff. No, they have the contact lenses that you could put in your eyes and it records everything you see. I don't know how these demons have this technology, but the scripture says that Satan was of great wisdom and knowledge, and that he saw the heavens being made. He saw us being made. He got jealous of how the Most High was creating us. And if he was right there with him, if he saw how he was being made, he obviously knows something. But I don't know how they do it. I just know what I see. And these demons have some type of contact lens over their eye where they're trying to hide their pupils. They're all over the place. I mean, not only can you see the clear lens around the outside of their iris, but they have it where the black part of their eye morphs from a circle to a diamond almond shaped pupil. I don't know how you can, I just don't understand how that eye can morph from a circle to a diamond. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. The actual pupil. I don't understand how their teeth can morph. What they have is some type of, I don't know if it's some type of holographic bodysuit that they're wearing, that they just slip on into it. But when you think about that, well, how can he just slip into it when they're born? I don't know if I just don't understand if they're doing something to the DNA or I just don't get it. Because not only are the adults the demons, but you have these babies that are demons. The baby's eyes are going almond shaped. Their teeth are morphing. These demons are all around us. And you have to realize that. So the question is, now what? Now what? You need to get saved. That's what you need to do. Get saved. Know that the Most High created you and that he loves you. And that he wants you to live in heaven forever. We live in this short time. This life is just but a vapor. But he has a place for us that we should live more abundantly. If we just do his will, we just do his right. Now, even though these demons are around us, we have to understand that we are amongst the tare. We are the wheat amongst the tare. So even though we as people may unknowingly date them, we work around them every day. We walk by them every day. You literally see them every day. And you can see them if you in the spirit. Ask the Most High to bless you, and you will see them. And once you see them, you'll never see things the same. Now, with that being said, we are all going to be judged. There's some good ones, there's some bad ones. There's demons out there that tip you. Can you believe that? You're working at a restaurant, or you're working wherever you're working, you're a valet or something, they're tipping you. They're coming to your job. You know what I mean? They're people you're conducting business with. They're some of your colleagues at work. Man, they're all over the place. But we're all going to be judged. So, you know what I mean? I'm not judging them, but I'm just upset with the fact that they're lying about who they are. You know what I mean? That they're hiding in this cloak of a skin. Man, just pull off the mask. I know they're tired of this human suit that they got on wherever they got on. And when you put two and two together, it makes you question why the dang on farmlands are being raided with cows. Why are all the cows going missing? Why is it when they find the cows, it's just the skin and the bones? They done took the eyes of the cow. They done took the intestines. They took the anus. They even took the anus from the cow. So when you put two and two together, you're like, okay, are they taking this as byproducts to morph to make some type of human genetic bodysuit? And are they putting demonic human hybrid entities into the cows, and then that embryo hatches and then it eats everything in sight of the cow? Because when they're finding these cow mutilations, there's not even a drop of blood around the cow. Not a drop of blood. Do you hear me? Oh man, this is real TV. You were not brought here by an algorithm. This show is hard to find. And I'm not all over YouTube as some of the other people I used to look up to. Some of the other people I used to look up to had like 200,000 listeners, 20,000 plus listeners and things of the such. I'm just at a barely 2,000. And as I do have an exit plan for YouTube, as I mentioned, as the time comes nigh, I will have my own website, and it will be a pay-per-view. I am convinced that with me being 2 years strong into this, February 7th to be 2 years strong since my first show, I am convinced that I have proved to you all that I have good content and that I have earned my right to put a price. I work hard for what I do. I'm passionate about what I do, and I'm not going to stop what I do. There's cartoons coming. There's clothing coming that I want to provide for you all, and more great content to come, and things of the such. And on this 2 year anniversary, I'm thinking about doing something special for you all, or maybe to for a certain number of people. I don't know if it's a T-shirt or I don't know, a personal FaceTime or something. I don't know. I'll think of something at that time, but I want to do something special. And coming up soon, our high holy day, the Passover, is coming up. We'll talk about that more. And with that being said, now that I do remember, to all my vegans out there, I do want to talk about this. This is Real TV. We touch on different topics, like we're talking one-on-one. To all my vegans out there who are into the scripture, who's trying to be one with the great I am, who believe that what they're doing is right. This is what I have to say to you. I'll put a disclaimer because if you have some type of disease or some type of element where you're not able to eat meat, I understand. However, we are supposed to eat meat. I understand in the scripture it says that the herbs of the field you shall eat. I understand that. However, when it comes to our Passover, and once you analyze all the scripture, which there's not enough time to do right now, we're going into dang on 2 hours in the show. You understand that during Passage, we are to eat lamb over an open fire with bitter herbs. If you're a vegan, how are you going to fulfill scripture? So you can't be vegan, bruh. You got to eat meat. You got to. Oh man, I'm gonna have to do a show for y'all. Read the scriptures. Read the scripture. All my vegetarians out there, you have to eventually get meat back into your life. Didn't Yeshua himself give the fishes in the loaves? Right? Didn't Samson eat honey from a lion? So to the vegans that say it's bad to eat honey and that they're not okay with eating milk from a cow or a goat or a sheep because of the practices or whatever, understand that in heaven there are rivers that flow with milk and honey. Do you understand? I'm talking about rivers of milk and honey. Makes Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory look like a joke when you seen that chocolate lake. Alright? So, really quick, let's go over some slides here. And we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Because if I burn my turkey tonight, I'm going to deal with y'all. I'm going to have to deal with y'all. You know what I'm saying? So I got my Thanksgiving in there. And I am hungry. Alright? So let's go over a few. Not on the mainstream news. Not on the mainstream news here. We got Zion Williamson. My boy. Give it up for your... Nah. Man, I don't know if y'all seen that dunk. Old boy did a 360 dunk against Clemson yesterday night. And I think this young guy is the next LeBron, James, Shaq mix. I mean, the guy is over 285 pounds. And he's quick, he's fast, and he's literally changing the game. Don't want to give him praise, but the guy can play. Homemade mannequins left in Michigan prison beds by two inmates in attempt escape. Man, they need to get these prisons together, man. Not on the mainstream news, man finds purse with $10,000 on subway platform, but he knows he has to give it to the cops. I know I'm trying to be a man of the Heavenly Father, but I got to throw a but in there. If I find $10,000, personally, if I find it, I'm gonna have to wait. I'm not saying that I wouldn't turn it in, but I'll hold on to it. I may have to hold on to it for 30 days, just to see if anybody claim it or put up a reward, and then I'll give it up. But if nobody claim it, I'm gonna have to say finders keepers. I don't know. I'm gonna have to pray on that one. Not on the mainstream news, unseen bird box creature looks kinda bald, veiny, like babies. Maybe it's a good thing viewers didn't see the Netflix creatures that drove people insane. Oh man, if you see this photo here, they look weird. They look nasty, no teeth, very veiny. It makes you wonder why they made the creature look like this. Because in the actual movie Bird Box, they're talking about how these things look beautiful. I don't know if they morphed into what they wanted them to see, but this creature looks Caucasian. And I bring up race only to say, why is it that the villains are Caucasian? Now, Joker is Caucasian. Freddy Krueger is Caucasian. Jason, Leprechaun, Chucky, the Bride of Chucky, Michael Myers, you know what I'm saying? Darth Vader. They're all Caucasian when you all put it together, put two and two together. You know what I mean? Even Thor, quote unquote, is Caucasian. A Caucasian, like, even though he has purple skin, but a Caucasian white man features, if you will, as a villain. When originally, the original Thanos was a black man. It just makes you wonder. Not on the mainstream news, Disneyland resort tickets and parking prices are going up again as much as 25%. I never went to Disneyland, but I would like to go one day. I'm a foodie. I would love to see what the food is like there, regardless of, the rides and stuff. But sound like it'd be cool to go. 25% doesn't seem like much, but from $20 to $25 to $97 for a ticket to $104, from $135 for a regular room to $149. Not too much. That's about a 10.4% increase. But when you add on the taxes and stuff, I'm sure it'll add up a little bit more. Now on the mainstream news, Soulja Boy involved in accident as rapper gets caught in terrifying mudslide in same Malibu area hit by wildflowers. I mean, not wildflowers, but wildfires. Man, that must be pretty serious to get caught up in a mudslide. Man, to see that, man, that's, man, I can't even imagine. I don't want to make fun. I know some people probably really has some issues with that, but man, I can't imagine a flash flood mudslide, man. Dang, man. Not on the mainstream news. If you love popcorn, Oreo cookies are coming out with buttered popcorn Oreos. Limited edition, baby. It sounds pretty interesting as a sample, but buttered popcorn Oreos, I don't know. Not on the mainstream news, President Trump signs Ashanti Alert Ashanti Alert Act into law. If you haven't heard of this, you may know of the well-known Amber Alert. Well, President Trump has signed the Ashanti Alert Act legislation that would create a national alert system to notify the public about missing or endangered adults. There's a young lady by the name of Ashanti Billy, 19-year-old woman who was abducted in Norfolk, Virginia. So he's naming it after her. Now, not on the mainstream news, romaine lettuce is not, and I repeat, romaine lettuce is not safe to eat whatsoever. The CDC warns all of the U.S. All right? Need I say more? Not on the mainstream news, food stamps denied in grocery store due to government shutdown. As we know it, the food stamps is only going to last until January 31st, the end of this month, if it prolongs. After that, the SNAP benefits will only last until the end of February for those in school who have free lunch. After that, there's going to be turmoil. When you start messing with people's food, there's going to be some problems. So I recommend to you, for those who have a little bit of money, if you have a little bit to the side, I would recommend probably going to Sam's Club if you have the means to go. If you have a membership, if you don't have a membership, you want to shop from your fingertips, go online to samsclub.com. pardon me, and get you some goods, some canned goods, some dry food, lots of water. Put it to the side, okay? And you don't have to have a membership from Sam's. I put you on game. You could go on Sam's, and as long as you don't spend more than $450 in 1 year, you don't have to become a member, and you can shop online with Sam's Club. Okay. Not on the mainstream news for those who are fans of Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog is coming out with a movie this year in November. Not on the mainstream news. Jetpack racing is here. There is going to be very soon the world's first racing league this year for jetpack racing. Sounds very cool. Not on the mainstream news, a med graduate jumps off the 12th floor before exam. It's very sad. Very sad. And for those who may have saw that movie Bandersnatch from Black Mirror, that was a crazy scene, huh? If you know what I'm talking about, the rooftop scene. That was crazy, wasn't it? Not on the mainstream news, Uganda had a 4.7 earthquake. It also shook the Nile River. Wow. Shook the West Nile into panic. Not on the mainstream news, Air Selfie debuts 3 new pocket-sized drones with built-in cameras. So if you're thinking about taking your selfies to the next level, they have technology for those who are self-centered. That's it for today's show. I want to go eat. Let me know what y'all think, if I should do this new song. Here's the instrumental. Yeah, just let me know. New content coming soon. I hope that you enjoyed the Us trailer breakdown. Just wait until the movie comes out if you think that was something. More to come soon. Let me know. Love you much. Real TV, baby.